Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about my garden. So I grew up in an Asian family, so we really like to grow a lot of fruits and vegetables in our backyard. And although our house is small, but like average size, we do have, I would consider, a bigger backyard than most new houses today. Although it is not the biggest, we still planted a lot of fruit trees, about 7 to 8 of them in my backyard. So for context, growing up, I have always been grateful for having this backyard. My parents used to live in the rural village, so they farmed a lot. And coming to America, they took those skills with them and eventually grew those backyard. I don't remember what order my parents grew these vegetables or fruits in, but I do remember that they told me when they first moved in, the lemon tree was the only thing in our backyard. Now we have things like guava, persimmon, longan, dragon fruit, and many more things. So let's start with the lemon tree. Lemons grow all year round, mainly in the fall and early spring. They have a thick skin and outer layer. Sometimes it feels graininess and obviously tastes sour. So how do we use our lemons? We use it to make lemon juice. It's a great source of vitamin C when you're getting a common cold or a cough. And we sometimes make lemon ice cubes because you can store these ice cubes for a very long time, and whenever you're sick or whenever you just want some lemon juice, just stick the cube of lemon into your cup, add some water and add some honey, and voila! You have your lemon juice. We also use lemons for cleaning stuff. So once we take out all the juice from the lemons, we use the rest of the lemon to clean our dishes, which is pretty interesting because it's a pretty good scrub. It has that nice lemony smell after you wash the dishes. And last but not least, we also use these lemons to add some taste into things like fish, such as fried fish or steamed fish, and we squeeze some lemon over that. So lemons could be used in many different ways. Comment down below how you use your lemons. Alright, next I want to talk about longan. Longan grew in the ripe season of July to August, and it has a color and texture of a brown and green. It's a little bumpy and rough on the outside of its shell. It tastes like lychee. It has a distinct taste from lychee, but I would say that the meat of the fruit has like the same consistency and same texture as lychee. And how do we use it or eat it? We usually eat it fresh. Longan can grow really tall, and we usually snap away the branches that don't bear fruit to allow it to grow more and more. Next, I want to talk about jujubes. Jujubes are grown in the ripe season of August to October. They usually have this greenish brown texture on the outside, and when they're ripe, they turn brownish and tannish on the green jujube. They taste hard and usually crisp if it's fresh. We eat the jujubes fresh, and when it's dried, it kind of looks like a date. These dried jujubes can be used in soup and other things. So a fun fact about my jujube tree is that it was actually withering during the pandemic, and we thought that it was gonna die after being so many years in the backyard, but that was not the case. Eventually it did revive again, and we were so glad. But ironically, it was withering during the pandemic, and we were making a joke that it caught the COVID-19 while we got it too. Alright, next fruit I want to talk about are guavas. So we have guavas that are ripe during the spring and summer season. They are usually hard with a white inside, and sometimes we also have soft ones that have a pink inside. But my favorite is the white ones that are crisp and hard. The pink ones are great, but they are better for juices. That's usually how I like them to eat them. But of course, different people like different things. It tastes tropical, and some interesting things is that on our guava tree, we usually have bird nests built in the tree. It made me realize that bird nests are not the ones that you actually see in clip art or see in social media where there's like perfect rims of branches. The bird nest I saw was like elongated, had a bunch of scraps of paper, even metal and branches. Here's a picture of it. Quite shocking that it doesn't really look like a bird's nest at first sight, or at least the ideal type or stereotypical type of a bird's nest. Next, we also have tangerines. Tangerines are ripe during the January to March season, so around the spring season. It's a pretty small tree compared to my other trees, but it bears a lot of tangerines. Literally, there are clumps and clumps of it when it is in blooming season. We also have persimmon trees, which are ripe during September to October, so it is a fall season fruit. We have soft persimmons and hard persimmons. My personal favorite is definitely the hard persimmon compared to the soft persimmon. For the soft persimmon, you can use it to make a yogurt texture. You can mix it up in yogurt and other juices. And for soft persimmon, sometimes you can use it for baking persimmon cookies or other things. But for hard persimmon, we usually eat it fresh. So it has a crisp or mushy texture to it depending on what type it is. We also have passion fruit. Passion fruit was a recently new fruit that was grown about 2 years ago in our family, so it wasn't always there. It wasn't always in our backyard like the other trees that have been there for probably 8 or more years. Probably like 15 or more years actually. But the passion fruit is usually ripe throughout the year and harvested whenever they turn purplish. The taste is very sour. It can be stored or dried for a pretty long time. And we use the passion fruit usually to make passion fruit tea, where we add a little honey, scoop out the passion fruit out from the inside, and add some water and honey to make our passion fruit tea. So we are best known for our dragon fruit. We literally have dozens of pots of dragon fruits. Not in the literal sense, but as you can tell, we have a lot of dragon fruit. And dragon fruit is a year-round fruit. The peak season is from summer to early fall. Our dragon fruit has a nice dark magenta color to it. It is sweet when there is not a lot of water. So when there is a rainy season, the fruit usually doesn't taste that sweet because it's filled with water. But if you give it the right amount of water and it's not raining so often, it tastes very sweet. I just love dragon fruit. It's such a rare and tropical fruit. You just slice it up into pieces and eat it. And a fun fact is that when you cut the dragon fruit and touch it, it leaves your fingers with a magenta color to it. It's definitely not permanent, but it's like natural dye to your fingers. Definitely one of my favorite fruits from my backyard is dragon fruit because it is definitely a rare fruit and it costs a lot in the marketplace when you buy it on your own. So I think it's such a rare opportunity to just grow your own dragon fruit and have it sitting in your backyard. So as you can tell, we have a lot of fruits and vegetables in our backyard. So today I am just going over the fruit trees that I have. If I were to go over all the things that we have, including chili, bitter melon, spinach, cabbage, tomatoes, etc., that would take probably a whole day because there's just so many little things that we plant, and sometimes we don't plant it throughout the year. Sometimes this plant comes in through this time, sometimes we plant the other plants during this time. So how are we able to grow all these fruit trees? So there's no magical way to grow this. It just takes a lot of care, a lot of love, and a lot of nutrition and attention. So make sure to give your fruit trees a lot of nutrients and water them at least 2 times a week. If it's the rainy season for you guys don't even have to water them. It's literally just like free water for the fruits. And I think the key thing here is that we have a compost bin in the backyard where we dump our eggshells, fruit peels, vegetable leftovers, anything that can be compostable, and we put it in that big bin, and basically the good stuff happens there. All the organic stuff deteriorates with the help of decomposers in the ground, such as earthworms and roly-polies, etc. They decay the material and eventually becomes good, rich soil that you could put and plant your fruit trees with. So I think the magic usually happens in the compost bin, and you just have to wait for it to compost and bring it to your fruit plants. So after several months, these nutritious things will eventually help your plants grow and become lively. So another question I often get from my parents' friends or from other people is, what if birds come to peck your fruits? So first, I would invest in a bell or you could, if you can't invest in a bell, or if you don't want to, you could always use plastic bags and wrap your trees or fruits around with them. Usually plastic bags scare away the birds because they don't know what it is, especially when the wind blows on it. It has this movement to it that scares the bird away. Alright, that was just a little short video about my plants and the backyard that my family has. My backyard is mainly taken care of by my parents, my aunt, and the rest of my family members. I sometimes help out, but not very often because I have school and half the time I am not even back home. But I would love to know and learn from my parents more about how to plant these gorgeous fruits because I eat them all the time and they're so delicious. So let me know what your favorite fruit is from my backyard, or what in general, if you have a favorite fruit from your backyard, and whether you have fruits in your backyard. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.